one and all. Welcome back to another edition of the Average Guy's Guide to Life podcast. You know who I am. You know what this is. You bitch. You bitch. Hello. How ya been doing? I know I haven't been as frequent as possible. I know you wanted to hear more of my lovely, lovely voice. But given the current situation, how can you dare ask me to access a piece of technology that I can comfortably reach from my bedside to record a podcast? How dare you? That's not humane under our current circumstances. Welcome to quarantine day number 19,764. How are you holding up? You panicking yet? Are you trying to keep it together? Are you going crazy? You going stir crazy? You getting cabin fever? What the fuck's going on in the world today? We're living in a fucking movie. This is a Resident Evil movie. No, those suck. This is a Resident Evil video game. This is fucking crazy. How you holding up in quarantine day number 19,764? How you holding? You stocking up on sanitizer and toilet paper? You want to clean your hands and wipe your ass and clean your hands again, but still can't help touching your face 500 times? How you holding up? You're not making any money, can't go to work, got laid off, temporary layoffs. Good times. Ain't no good times. This is some fucking weird times. I got into a Lyft car the other day. A Lyft driver picked me up from the grocery store, and he had the back of his car taped off like a bubble. Shit you not. He had like a plastic guard between him and his fucking life in the front. It makes sense. It definitely makes sense if you don't want anyone breathing on you. But this is some strange shit. That's some shit that you would see in a futuristic sci-fi movie about the end of times. Motherfucker with the back of his car taped up. So fucking weird. I was surprised that a Lyft driver was even available. But he like, nah. I took precautions on your dumb ass. You are not giving me the fucking zombie virus. It is strange though. This is a very strange time in which we're living in. People walking around with fucking gas masks on. For the first time since it happened, I actually witnessed someone with a cart full of toilet paper. I actually saw it. She did look like a lady who had about 9 kids though, so by all means, do your thing. But it's so strange that we went to toilet paper, like we went to tissue. That was the first thing that we attacked, but I'm pretty sure everybody covered that topic. How absurd that is when we should be, worrying about food and, medical supplies and stuff to make your quarantine experience better. But speaking of the fucking quarantine experience, motherfuckers are just disobedient. People do not give a fuck, certain people, about this social distancing and shit. Like, it is a government order. It's not authorized. I don't want to say authorized. It's not enforced, I should say. Scratch out that word, authorized. It's not enforced by the law. Like, police cars ride down the street all the time. They're not fucking pulling people over for walking down the sidewalk. So it's not that extreme. But even if it was, people are still just fucking disobedient. They don't give a fuck, bro. They don't care. What do I mean by that? Okay, so for all of my people who live in cold states, whether it be the East Coast, the Northwest, or the Midwest, we have long fucking winters. Okay? We have long winters. We don't see the sun for fucking months. We are moments away And every January, from just jumping in front of a snowplow, just ending it all, just fuck it. Take me away. It's a miserable time. It builds character, don't get me wrong. It definitely builds character, but this is some miserable shit, especially if it's a long winter, where I have seen snow on the ground in April. But during my recording of this podcast, I believe it's April 7th, 2020, and today is the legitimate first decent, pleasant, beautiful day we've had all year since last fall, maybe. It got up to 71 degrees, and I live in a cold weather state in the Midwest. Do you think these motherfuckers thinking about fucking quarantine and social distancing right now? Hell no. Hell no. I see motherfuckers riding close to each other on bicycles, riding close to each other on motorcycles. I done seen motherfuckers having barbecues, people in the backyard, playing catch and shit. Playing catch with the corona ball. Fucking COVID catch. They just don't give a fuck. You wanna know why? Because we done quarantined already. We've been in our house for 6 months. Hiding from the fucking cold. We've been hiding from the weather. Think we scared of some goddamn thing that's invisible, that's killing everybody? Shit. I mean, the cold is invisible and it kills people all the time. We ain't scared of that. It is irresponsible, though. It's very irresponsible. But I can't blame them. I can't blame them. Very nice day outside. If you gotta take a chance. If you get the COVID, then you're to blame. But was it worth it? Did you get them fucking burgers off the grill? Were they lovely? Did they taste delicious? Then it was worth it. You got 48 hours to live. But yeah, it's some cold weather shit that most people wouldn't understand. They live in those warm weather states. Y'all out there sunshining all the time. So it's easier for y'all to stay indoors. You spoiled bitches. Anyway, I hope everybody's making it through this situation all right. Making it through this movie that we're currently living through unscathed. I still got to take my dumb ass to work. I'm not quarantined. I still got to go out and fucking, live a public life and shit. And risk my life. Risk my health. So with that being said, I drink. That's how I get through it. And currently, even though it's not a Freaky Friday, I'm sipping on a fine Merlot. That's right, I'm back to drinking the liquid metal. This shit definitely don't taste like it should be consumed by people. But fuck it, it gets the job done. It helps me get through these trying times of still being able to go to work and make a living. It's so hard for me. Anyway, there was a bunch of things I wanted to discuss. I wanted to talk about Tiger King, but that's been, Jesus Christ, that has been talked about so much. I just recently finished it this past weekend, and I think it's been out for maybe a week, 2 weeks, something like that. I had to stop listening to my favorite programs because they kept fucking spoiling it for me. The moment I heard them say Tiger King, I'd be ripping my headphones out, throwing my phone across the room. Like, what the fuck? In a panic. Like, hey, I still want to watch this shit. This crazy, absurd shit. It is fucking crazy. And it is so fucking absurd. It's so absurd. And each episode tops the last. It elevates into unprecedented absurdity. I think that's fair to say. I think it's more than fair to say. Despite me almost being spoiled on several occasions, I'm not going to spoil anyone that hasn't seen it yet. Go watch that shit. Don't let the title fool you. It is some of the most interesting and outlandish programming you'll ever see in your lifetime. And that is probably an underestimation. It's a comedy wrapped up in a drama, wrapped up in a murder mystery, wrapped up in tigers, wrapped up in sex cults, wrapped up in meth, wrapped up in math and people missing teeth. This is wrapped up in criminals and, you know, fucking sabotage and betrayal and somebody, possibly getting eaten or someone definitely getting eaten, at least a limb. Okay, I didn't said too much, but watch fucking Tiger King. And also watch, watch WrestleMania, but English is the language I speak. I don't really watch wrestling as much as I used to. Lifelong wrestling fan. I still follow it. I still follow the storylines and I follow the news. I just don't watch the programming. This WrestleMania was the first I watched, I think, in a couple years. It was interesting because it was going to take place in an empty arena. And I just wanted to see how that would look. Like their biggest show of the year in an empty arena. But I was pleasantly surprised with a few of their entries. Primarily the Firefly Funhouse match. Try to say that 5 times 5. See, there we go. I already fucking failed. English is the language I speak. The Firefly Funhouse match between John Cena and Bray Wyatt was a thing of beauty. And it wasn't even a match. It wasn't even a fucking match. It was like straight to Netflix grade movie that was only about 10 minutes long. But it was great, especially if you're a lifelong wrestling fan like I am and you've watched the development of things. It was like an homage to wrestling fans. So fucking watch it, bitch. Watch that shit. It's great. I heard some other matches on the card were good. I haven't watched them yet. I did watch the Drew McIntyre and Brock Lesnar match. It was a match. It was a thing, but I'm happy to see Drew get his due. But yeah, fuck, I forgot what I was going to talk about. It had something to do with programming. Something about what we were watching besides Tiger King. Damn it. But there's so many goddamn shows out there. You can't fucking blame me for... Oh, okay. I remember. It's not a show. All right. Don't shoot me. Don't shoot the messenger. Don't shoot the podcaster. Okay. If you're going to shoot, then not in the genitals, not in the face. Anyway, I just realized someone I work with. I have to hate them now. And I didn't want to hate them originally, but I have to hate them now. Excuse me. Let me take a sip of my Merlot. 1 sec. Have you ever found something out about a person that you thought you were cordial with, or at least semi-acquaintances with? They're a decent person. You have nothing against them. They seem like they got a good head on their shoulders. But then you find out one little thing, and you look at them completely different. You know what I'm talking about, right? It's either something that they believe strongly in that you really don't care about, or something you believe strongly in that they really don't care about. And it's very important, but it's one of those things where you're just kind of looking at somebody completely different. And it might be silly to some people. Might be. But a coworker of mine said that she did not like the Joker movie. That's damn near blasphemous. How the fuck can you not like Joker? How? Well, okay, I'm not going to say how. Because it is a divisive movie if you go in with ammunition. If your ammunition going into the movie is you are easily triggered, or if you're looking to be strictly entertained, by something. Or if you just don't like something that is a real life interpretation of something that is dark. If that is your ammo going into this movie and you already have that in your fucking holster, then you're not going to like it. I get that. And that's why it's been divisive when it dropped. But if you go into that movie with no expectations and you strictly are just watching to see the story unfold, appreciate the characters that are on display, and appreciate the setting and the scenery and the camera work and everything. If you just go into it with an open mind, like how I believe most people should go into viewing experiences of any kind, whether it be cinema or television, documentaries, whatever the fuck, even music. You approach it with an open mind and make your mind up after you see it without any preconceived agendas or any sort of sensitivities to things. And I just don't see how anyone could not like it with those guidelines in place. It's a fucking excellent movie. So now I have to hate this person. I didn't want to hate her. But now I kind of want to punch her in the face. I never hit a woman in my life. But saying that you don't like Joker is a damn near punchable offense. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? She's kind of old. She might die. Still be worth it though. Anyway, let me not get arrested. So, I also wanted to touch on. Damn, I'm just jumping all over the place today. Whatever, you have to excuse me. Since I haven't done one of these in a while, I've had a lot on my mind. It's just been building up in there. Been building up. And speaking of building up, shits, right? Everyone takes them. Now, there's such a taboo thing. Comedy is subjective, of course. But there are taboo things that are funny now, were funny 20 years ago and will be funny 20 years from now. Very taboo subjects. And they're funny because everyone does it, but no one wants to admit it. That's why it's taboo. That's why it's funny. And it's all about how you present that subject, like taking shits. Taking a shit in itself is a normal bodily function. If you don't shit, then you're probably going to die soon. Very soon. But if you do shit, you're just a person. But if you're talking about shit, then it's kind of either awkward or funny. If you're talking about people passing bowel movement, something that's completely normal. But you can't talk about it. You can't talk about taking shits. Like, I took a spicy shit last night. You know what I'm saying? Like, one of those when you gotta wake up in the fucking middle of the night? You know what I'm talking about? When you try to turn over and go back to bed, like that motherfucker not kicking the shit out your sternum. Like, fuck it, I'll get up then. One of those disturb your fucking night sleep shits. That's what I had. And it kind of smelled like burning newspaper. You ever had one of them? One of them burning newspaper shits? It was weird. It's probably too much information, but there you go. That's why it's taboo. I know everybody had one of those middle of the night shits where you hold on to the wall and you got yourself spread out like you're holding on for a fucking takeoff, or you're plummeting to the ground. You're just bracing for impact. Those type of shits. But you can't talk about it, even though you do it. Like masturbation. Most sexually active people masturbate. Either you're beating your dick or you're flicking your twat. Whatever. But you can't talk about it. Taboo. Unless you're funny. Then you can talk about it. Then you can talk about jacking it or whatever women do. Rubbing it. Fucking you know, doing their little fucking magic trick. It's a fucking magic trick, whatever you ladies do. Like, you got a fucking technique. I don't know how that, like, I may be oblivious, but it's like we got it easy. All we have to do is grab it up and down, up and down, up and down. Your fucking pressure or the strokes or how fast you want to go, it all depends on your personal preference. But a lady, you gotta lay down, get yourself in the right mindset, get yourself in the mood, put some fucking candles on, some goddamn Keep Sweat on, you know. One hand you're doing something, then the other hand you fucking look like you're, knitting something with the other hand, and sometimes you gotta use both and just go ham, you know, like you fucking shaking a Polaroid picture, like you're just shaking that motherfucker fast as hell. Sometimes you do that, y'all got a whole fucking mystery box down there. It's a mystery box. Don't know what the fuck is going on, but everybody does it. Everybody fucking does it. All a dude got to do is just turn on two people fucking. Give me 2 minutes. I'm done. Oh God. Oh shit. I've been talking for 21 minutes about bullshit already. Okay. So let me leave you with something that's actually coherent. So I was told recently, after sharing a few stories of mine, that in my short few years on this earth, that I've lived enough for at least 5 lives. Like, I've lived 5 lives already. And I'm not fucking 50. But I've lived 5 lives. And at first, I was like, you know what? Maybe. But she's absolutely right. I have lived at least 5 different fucking lives in the span of 30 years. Oh shit, I gave you my age. And it's so fucking crazy because I never thought how much experience means when a person is developing character or developing will or developing ambition or developing the ability to prioritize, and also sensibility and just even a sense of humor, But all 5 of my lives have kind of combined to making me the person I am today. Even the tragic lives that I've lived, So I'm not ashamed of any of that. So I think in the coming weeks, I am going to take specific stories from an element or a part of one of my lives, and I'm going to tell you about it. And it can be a story where I was homeless. It can be a story where I was in college. It can be a story where I was a petty thug hanging out with gangbangers. It can be a story where I was an advocate or volunteer, or a story where, I was living in some sort of an isolation. I've lived so many different fucking lives. It's fucking crazy. I had roommates, or, where I don't know. It's a lot of stuff. But this week, I wanted to share a random, super fucking random story that came across my head today. And it had something to do with the quarantine situation, but also nothing to do with it at all. Hopefully that makes sense. After it left my mouth, it didn't make any sense to me anymore, but hopefully it does make sense to you. Like, this story is going to have something to do with the quarantine, but nothing to do with it as well. So, when I was 23 years old, I was in my very first apartment on the southeast side of Chicago. Decent neighborhood, Hyde Park, if you're familiar. I was just transitioning from my 3 previous lives, and I was still trying to figure out who the hell I was. Like, who am I? I had a good idea. Like, I had good foundation. And I knew what to take with me and what to leave behind as far as character traits and experiences. So I had a good idea, but I was still trying to figure it out, you know. And being the young man that I was in need of company of the opposite sex. So I ended up meeting this person. I don't even remember how we met, honestly. I can't even tell you, but maybe this is foreshadowing to the conclusion of the story. But we didn't meet, and this person was very outgoing, very energetic personality, always smiling, happy-go-lucky type of person. Sounds like somebody you want to be around, right? I wanted to be around him too. Sounds all good. All right. Now, we decided that we wanted to take things on the slower route, which I have nothing against. Absolutely nothing. As long as you have something constructive and interesting to say, I'm going to listen. If you're an uninteresting, boring fucking person, then this taking it slow shit is going to fucking feel like forever. I ain't about that. Like, you boring and you want me to fucking beat off to wait for you and you boring? This ain't going to work. But anyway, so me and this person, we digging on each other. Can you dig it? And we going out on dates and whatnot. This was during the span of maybe half of one summer. Now, she was beginning to show a side of herself that I wasn't familiar with. Seeing as though she was an outgoing person, I knew that she would like to go out and do things. That's fine. You know, I would go and do things that I wasn't even comfortable with, just because I knew that she was an outgoing type of person. I hate the fucking beach. Hate it. I hate it. I am admittedly in the minority there, but I don't like the sand. I think I'm like, what the fuck is his name? Anakin. I'm like Anakin Skywalker when he said his course and it gets everywhere, you know, in that movie. I think that was episode 2 or some shit. I think it was episode 2, Star Wars. But me and him agree on that. I like water. I wouldn't swim in the lake, especially not Lake Michigan. You got me fucked up. But would I get in the pool, a jacuzzi, motherfucking water slide? Yeah, I'll do that. You know. But as far as the lake water, nah. That mixed with the sand, nah. But she would ask me to go, and I would go. I would go in gym shoes and jeans, but I would go. I didn't own shorts for a very long time, but that's another story. And one day we went, and it was like a double date situation. Her friend had brought her boyfriend with, and we were just planning on going to the North Avenue Beach, which is one of the most filthy beaches in Chicago. All the beaches in Chicago are fucking filthy, if you ask me, but this is, probably, top 2 filthiest beaches in Chicago. And he was like a male model, right? And I'm not saying I'm fucking Patrick Swayze in the 80s, but I wasn't too bad myself, And he wanted to meet me to get me into the modeling thing. I wasn't really into it. I like punching people. So walking down the runway with, mixed match clothes on, pretending that you look fly wasn't really my thing. But I was down to try and be friends with the fella. Classic pretty boy. But as soon as my feet hit that sand, I was like, nope, I'm over this shit. And the attitude fucking cloud just came and just parked itself over my head. Now I had a fucking attitude, I ain't gonna lie. And the girl I was with was like, take your shirt off. I'm like, bitch, why are you like, who told you could tell me what to do? Of course I didn't say that because I'm a fucking coward. But I said it in my head and I, proceeded to take my shirt off. And before I took my shirt off, I heard the guy talking to my former date's girlfriend or friend, whatever, funky situation. But he was saying to her, like kind of half ass whispering. He was like, I don't see what she sees in him. Because I was being real crabby. But then I took my shirt off and he was like, oh, okay, I see. And I turned around and I looked at him. I'm like, I don't know what to think about that. It's kind of gay. Not saying that there's anything wrong with that, but is that what she sees in me? Do you see that in me? Are we about to get into some weird group sex situation here? I didn't sign up for that. But anyway, that's just a little background story to show you how things ended up. So I would be dragged to do things that I really didn't want to do. That beach situation was just one. But then I ended up putting my foot down like an OG from the 50s. Motherfucker, go make me a sandwich, bitch. But no, it wasn't nothing like that. But still, she asked me to do something. I think it was like go to a club. She asked me to go to a club with her one weekend. And I'm like, okay, enough of this shit. I'm not going to do it. No. And of course, if you don't want to go to the club, at the time it was get crunk. It wasn't get turned or get lit. So if you don't want to go to the club and get crunk, you're deemed a lame. So she called me a lame and then hung up the phone. Surprisingly, I didn't give a shit. I didn't give one fucking singular shit. I sat down, cracked open a beer, and started watching Naruto on that ass. But the funny thing is throughout the evening, she was calling me from the club. And she was trying to say how much fun she was having. If you're truly having that much fun, why are you calling me? If you're truly involved with this situation and the environment that you're in, shouldn't you be enjoying yourself and the people around you? Why are you escaping that to try and make me feel bad? And I think what fucked her up is that I didn't feel bad at all. I found it extremely comedic. I wish there was someone around me at the moment where they would have enjoyed that scenario and that situation as well, and had as much of a laugh as I did at that moment. Because I put her on speaker. I was making dinner at the time. I put her on speaker, and I'm like, oh yeah, you dress skimpy, okay, that's nice. And her rebuttal to everything I said was, you a lame. Why ain't you here? You so lame. I'm getting drunk. There's a lot of cute guys here. You just a lame. You don't want to do nothing. You don't ever want to leave nowhere. And I'm sitting here like, yeah, this is true. So why in the fuck are you calling me? I'm sitting in my house chilling right now. Ain't you supposed to be getting crunk right now? Why are you pausing your crunk to talk to me? And I don't know if that was some sort of device to make herself feel better for the rejection, or maybe she was trying to make me jealous and it failed and she realized that I was just making a whole comedy spectacle out of it. Whatever it was, it lives in my memory and forever will live in my memory, because that is the moment where I learned in my fourth life that I am an introvert. I am an introvert that can do extrovert things, that has extrovert experience. But left to my own devices, I am an introvert. So you calling me from this club talking about how drunk you is and how fine you look and how so many guys checking you out. If anything, that's going to make me get turned off. Like, why the fuck was I talking to you in the first place? You have absolutely nothing to offer, you fucking dunce. Why? What was going on here? But then again, everybody has their own preferences. I don't have anything against extroverts. Some of my best friends are extroverted. But that is the moment I found out that I was an introvert. So this whole quarantine thing, it's normal. This is normal for me. This is my life. I still go out and do what I gotta do. Buy me some steaks. Get me some TP. a normal, rational amount of it. I only got one ass to wipe. No reason I need 2 carts full of fucking toilet paper. If anything, I just hope everyone else out there is dealing with their situation good. Because not everyone is an introvert like me and dealing well. Some people are extroverts and losing their fucking minds. God bless you. God bless you. And to that person, whoever the fuck you are, if you managed to find this all these years later and remember that story and remember the reaction I had and remember all of the experiences we had, I hope that you understand that I am still laughing at you to this day. You are a pathetic individual. By now you probably have about 7 kids and, on welfare, writing love letters to your baby father who's behind bars. Yeah, that's right. I'm stereotyping against my own kind. What the fuck you got to say about it? Anyway, that's all I got for today. I want to dedicate this episode and all of its nonsensical bullshittery and my ranting about topics that are not connected. I want to dedicate this episode to my dear old dad. I don't get to say that word very often. Even hearing me say it, Dad, my father who art in heaven, and he is. Rest in peace, Dad. Today is his birthday, so I want to dedicate this episode to him. If he has, access to the internet in whatever dimension he's currently in, hopefully he listens to this episode and he is very, very embarrassed. That would make me so very happy. Love you, Pop. Everybody, bye-bye.